not learn too much, cause it's hard to read when you've got tired eyes. Months go by, the time it flies, past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime. Years go by, the time it flies, past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime.
Ooh, hello.
Hey, Chad.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm debating if I want to go by myself again. Probably not. I think I enjoyed that last year, and I don't think I can top that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Connor, you can join the Funhouse.
It's okay. I'm gonna spend all my money on Lions playoff tickets anyway, so I don't need it for Houston.
Hey, Lions to the Super Bowl. That's my prediction.
Lions Bills. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I hate Patrick Mahomes.
Dude, that Bills Chiefs game yesterday was nuts.
Great game.
That was a great game.
All right, hear me out of my dream. So I went to North Dakota State. Carson Wentz went to North Dakota State.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Carson Wentz is the backup to Patrick Mahomes. And when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, Nick Foles took over for Carson Wentz in like week 17 or something like that and won the Super Bowl. My dream is a Patrick Mahomes injury followed by a Carson Wentz run to the Super Bowl to relive the Nick Foles dream on the other side.
That's crazy.
I came up with that today.
Jesus.
Nice. Yep, all good.
I'd say whether my team qualifies or not, I'll probably be going to Worlds. I haven't not gone since 2015. So I think it's just weird not to go. I've got too many friends down there.
It's cheaper if your team doesn't qualify. You can just stay wherever you want.
No, my team pays for me. I'm the head coach. They pay for me. It's fine.
Don't you know who
my issue? My issue is I booked my flight the day after district champs, and it was a $2,000 round trip flight.
Oof.
But it was direct.
Yeah, that's brutal.
You're an expensive
I'd be
choice.
driving down.
Yeah.
All right. I think we are good to go, everybody. So give me a moment. I'll go mute, and then you can do your pre-intro, Nick.
Okay. Welcome back. After a small hiatus, FRC Roundup is back and prepping for the upcoming 2025 FRC season. We have a great guest and 4 topics to cover tonight that have emerged over the past couple weeks in the community, looking into a teaser release and some hot discussion points currently in the community. All of this and more coming up on this episode of FRC Roundup.
This video on fun is brought to you by viewers like you and also in partnership with the following. AndyMark is your one-stop shop for all your robotics competition needs. Celebrating 20 years of quality robotics parts and superior service, AndyMark employees have over 200 years of first-team experience. From mechanical and electrical products to tools and hardware, head on over to andymark.com for high-quality and affordable solutions. Discover how Kettering University students engineer their success with Kettering's amazing co-op employment programs where students earn great pay and gain valuable experience. Those accepted into Kettering University can apply for a robotics scholarship, providing up to an additional $5,000 a year in tuition assistance. Head on over to kettering.edu/first to learn more and apply.
Welcome to the show. If you have not caught our show previously, FRC Roundup is where we take important topics currently happening in FRC, highlight some discussion points about events that may have happened, strategy, or really anything that correlates with FRC. If you're the fun community, think that there is a topic that we should discuss on FRC Roundup, please feel free to ping me in the fun Discord. I'll be more than happy to take a look at it. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Nick Mathis, currently in the 1st and Michigan region, and I'm a mentor on Team 33, the Killer Bees.
And I'm Connor McBride, mentor for Team 166 Chop Shop and an MC and game announcer in the New England District. Our guest today is Ryan Swanson. Ryan is a multi-time guest here on this show, fun correspondent, and mentor on 6045 Saber Robotics. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Yeah, glad to be here. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, always good to have Ryan on. We'll go ahead and jump right into our first topic of the night. Going to be talking about the 2025 REEFSCAPE trailer. That REEFSCAPE, that's going to be a hard one to say. Jumping into the trailer that was released, I believe it was a couple weeks ago. First put out, the about minute and a half video, kind of trying to, put some hints in there about maybe next year's game and what we can expect coming here. And geez, like we're looking at 6 weeks till kickoff. That's crazy to look at. But so one of the big points that I took out of it, it's probably about 45 seconds into the video when there's a bunch of robots that are underwater and placing these specific items that look like to be, I can't exactly tell, I think you could call it a buoy of some sort or whatever you want to call it, into it looks like some sort of apparatus in the ocean. I think First is really highlighting some sort of pick and place game. I think we're due for one coming up here now that it has been a bit since we've had one. The past 2022 we had a shooting game. 2023 we had a shooting and pick and place game, I guess, because some people were shooting the cubes. 2024 obviously full shooting game. So I expect to get back to the pick and place realm here coming up with the 2025 season. It is the first year back that we'll have 2 game pieces. First did announce that. Yeah, this right here was shown on screen. But First did announce that we're going to be going back to 2 game pieces, which props to First for getting that out there. But Ryan, Connor, what are your overall thoughts about the trailer that have been posted and what we could possibly look for in this year's game?
For sure. Yeah, no, I'm getting strong 2019 vibes. Pick and place, 2 game pieces. The last time we did that was 2019. I've got my kids and my CAD team. I told them, hey, go build an elevator, go CAD an elevator, have a good plan for that. So high level, I think it'll be 2019. From the teaser video, my big takeaway was the 4 robots at the end collaborating to lift whatever they're lifting. There are only 3 robots on an alliance. There are 4 robots kind of shown there doing stuff. It would not shock me by any stretch for either the end game or some kind of co-op involving both alliances, if not 4 robots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an interesting point. I didn't actually pick up on that. Connor, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as Ryan. So on 166, we're also doing an off-season project to design an elevator. Like we haven't done one since 2019, and we haven't been that effective in it in the years that I've been around. So we really want to have that in our back pocket so that if we believe that this game needs an elevator, we can just take that design that we've been working on or piggyback off of that and continue to work on that. What I found interesting is that when they pan to all those robots looking around the ocean floor, one of them is on a tether. So that kind of made me maybe think mini bots, maybe potentially.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And then the mini bot narrative.
I want to experience Minibot, and I want an inner tube game.
Yeah, mini bots with the new Minion motors, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
That would be cool.
Connor, you're saying you want 2011 all over again?
I mean, I wasn't around for 2011, but I mean, it looked like a fun game. I'll take it. Maybe they'll change the point values around so mini bots aren't so overpowered for
I came around in 2012 was my first exposure to First, and 2011 looked pretty cool. I'll give them that. My vote's for 2019. I'm going to vote. We're going to get something akin to 2019 with a more open field.
Yeah, the robots were manipulating some form of game piece that went into that cube as well. Looked like some kind of cylindrical object with a handle on it. So whether if that's some form of like PVC pipe or something, that would be pretty interesting game piece, because I believe headquarters said in the blog post for the 2 game pieces that one of them can be easily sourced at like any kind of like local stores and stuff like that. So yeah, so like when I heard that, it was like hardware stores are like very abundant throughout the US and very consistent. So that's PVC is a very common thing. So maybe something like that. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool, but I mean, we'll find out January 4th.
Yeah, very interested to see. This will be like Ryan said this. Well, I guess 2023 we had 2 game pieces too, so it hasn't been that long. But it's another dip into the 2 game piece era, which obviously brings its own complexity, to the robots and stuff like that. So I'll be very curious to see what first release. They always do a good job of leading us in the wrong direction, and then giving us a curveball. So, but we'll see what comes out of it. Jumping into our next topic of the night, we're going to be talking about new FRC products. Obviously, with the blog post coming out in, I believe it was the end of October. It wasn't October. With the new products coming out, looking at new control system products, new motors, new motor controllers, stuff like that coming out from various vendors with a lot on the horizon. So a few things that I wanted to highlight, and then we'll kind of go around the table and maybe hear about what some of the other folks on the show are liking a lot. 2 big things from West Coast Products and CTR Electronics coming out with the new Kraken X44. It looks to be a smaller size Kraken to be used in essentially various places. Seems to be another top tier motor entering the FRC market. Also on the motor range, the Minion coming from CTR Electronics is a sole motor without having a direct controller attached to it. We saw ThriftyBot release their Thrifty Nova that they were debuting, or at least had on display at Champs this past year. Robotics Servo Hub. The big thing that I thought was super interesting, CTR has really come out with a lot of products, over the past couple of weeks. Candy, the Can range, the Talon FXS. The big one that I thought was super interesting was the PDP 2.0. I was curious to see that had come out, with meeting the new ATO breakers, that platform, and having no can on it, which I thought was really interesting. And to be honest, I'm actually a pretty big fan of it not having can. I know that might be a semi-unpopular opinion, but the new PDP having, or the new CTR PDP not having can on it, I thought was super interesting, coming out from the community. Obviously, also expecting Andy Mark to have some new products out early December from what they've been posting on Chief Delphi, and then I'm assuming Rev will have something up as well too. I think they usually tend to be around that December time frame, so expect something to come out of both of those great suppliers. But the big one for me that I thought was super interesting was the PDP 2.0, along obviously with the new motors that came in as well. But Ryan, what are you guys looking at 6045? What are some new products that are exciting you guys?
Yeah, I want to shout out Ryan Donio with ThriftyBot, Thrifty Nova. I've been aware of the existence of that motor controller since early on in the development. I think probably 1.5, 2 years now. I know he's put a ton of work into it, and I hope the community adopts it, and I think it's super cool. So yeah, rooting for Ryan there. 6045 just got announced as hashtag Team Rev, throwing that out there too. So I know cool. Rev, they haven't done their, super excited, year 2 for us. And Rev, they haven't done their big product drop yet. There was some hints that there's going to be some stuff coming through the pipeline. Looking forward to seeing what's out there. But to be completely honest with you, the biggest thing I'm excited about is to go into 2025 the way we went into 2024. 6045 has been an early adopter of products. And I think we're excited to go in with what we know and take that and expand on what we learned from last year.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, every team's got their own fit and what works for them. And a lot of the times, I hopefully we're going to get to a point where, the motors become so durable that we can continue to use them year in and year out, regardless of, how much, I know that might be unpopular opinion. So people are like, oh, you got to get new motors every year. And I hope we get to a point with the brushless era and all these new motors coming out that we can just, those lower resource teams that might not have the privilege to be able to go out and buy 50 Krakens a year, can reuse them on their future robots. But Connor, what about you guys? What's 166 happy about with this latest product drop?
Yeah, so I know, just like what Ryan said, we're pretty anxious to waiting on what Rev potentially drops within the next month. We're a Rev ecosystem team. Personally, I love all those swerve module options from West Coast products that they have dropped. That is huge. Now, I mean, the COTS swerve revolution is still incredibly young, which is wild to think about because it's been around for only a few years. But just how far that swerve has just developed over the past couple of years, and that it's probably only gonna this is just the beginning.
Just to piggyback off that real quick, I totally forgot the new swerve modules. 33 is really excited about the new modules, especially the X2S, that newer small module that WCP had recently come out with. That looks to be another superior small platform module that's for the price that it's at is going to compete with those smaller, cheaper modules on the market. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted
no, absolutely
pipe in there while you had it.
Another thing that I'm really excited about is what SDS dropped was their elevator bearing block kit. That thing looks sick. So we are right in the middle of our elevator design with my CAD students, and we looked at it and we're just like, do we want to pivot to this? But we got to a point throughout our design where we're just like, no, we just got to stick with what we're rocking right now. But we've definitely eyed it for the comp season. This is definitely something that we would be interested in, and it's at a pretty great price for how beautiful that thing looks.
Of every FRC vendor out there, they've got by far the best Instagram pictures.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
I guess going off on a tangent on that, if Patrick watches this, can you please post more machining videos of all those parts getting made? I love that.
Yeah, another one to check out if you want to see some good machining videos. FabWorks has a lot of lasering videos on their Instagram as well. That's super entertaining too. But comment in chat from Nelson Green. I'd like to see Rev drop a larger wheeled swerve option, maybe something partially compatible with Max Swerve for upgrading for games. It's an interesting point. I forgot the only swerve module that Rev does have on the market is a 3-inch, I believe, is what Max Swerve is. So, it's an interesting point. I know West Coast is still pushing the 4-inch, I believe, SDS 4-inch, and then West Coast, another product that I forgot to mention too. I can't think of it. I just lost the name of it. One sec, I will come back to it. But Ryan, is there anything else that you had said? 6045 is going to be looking into kind of going into 2025 what they had with 2024. Is there anything that you've seen that might pique your interest in this latest market drop that your team would be intrigued to possibly try going into 2025?
Yeah, I mean, we have a meeting every year, and it's kind of like what ecosystem do we want to go to? What's our big investment for the year, right? We've got, we're a pretty well-resourced team. I would say we invest a lot into our infrastructure, and when we go a direction, we don't necessarily have to stay that direction. The kids they made basically a breakdown of, hey, here are all the motor options. Here's all the pros and cons to everything. We actually haven't decided yet totally what we're going to do in terms of both drivetrain modules, in terms of motors. But so yeah, I mean, it's to be continued a little bit, but we're in the process of figuring that out. And I think we've got until early December before I've got to pull the trigger and start worrying about shipping getting here before kickoff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the product that I was talking about was the molded high grip that West Coast was looking at.
Sure.
That was kind of looks to be a semi-competitor to the grip lock wheels at a much more tolerable price, I guess is what I would say. The grip locks sounds like we're a great hit, but a little bit on the pricier range. I'd be curious to see how that grip lock competitor that West Coast has come out with to see what that looks like and how performs for the community. But any last thoughts before we go ahead and jump into topic 3?
I'm really curious to see how that grip lock wheel holds up in competition, because that looks, the holes are no, there's no holes that hold it in. It's just there on the hub, and that's a nice, super nice quick change. is like 166. We ran Coulson's on our swerve module mainly because like we just hated having to change out that nitrile. Where maybe, well, we haven't decided if we're going to continue to go Coulson or swap back to nitrile for this upcoming season, but like that's a very, very enticing product there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, before we go ahead and jump into topic 3, we'll go ahead and hand it over to Tyler to hear from our friends from Kettering University.
Hey, thanks a lot, Nick. Yeah, Kettering University, their scholarships are now open. They're giving away a fantastic robotics scholarship for up to $5,000 per year for those who attend. Do you know that every student at Kettering University actually attends a co-op program? We just brought on a new correspondent who's attending Kettering University, and they are loving it so far, getting placed already with the company in their freshman year to work in that co-op thing. So if you're looking for a university that has over 30% of its attendees from competitive robotics, check out kettering.edu/first. Learn more about what they have to offer, some of their amazing scholarships, and of course, their incredible co-op program as well. That's kettering.edu/first. And thanks a lot to Kettering University for their continued support.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Tyler, and thanks to our friends from Kettering University. Connor, if you're cool with it, I'm going to hand you over to topic 3 to cover equity, access, and resource allocation in FRC registration. I know Ryan's got some interesting points on this too as well, so I want to make sure Ryan gets the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. So this thread spawned on Chief Delphi 10 days ago by the one and only Ryan Swanson, our guest. And Ryan actually brings up a lot of great points. So essentially, this is all about, kind of stemmed through like that first round event selection and teams getting waitlisted and not getting into their into the events that they wanted. And I know we had a massive issue with that in the New England region. We had like 90 teams register for the same event, and over 30%, I think 30% of New England teams, when it came time to second round event, didn't even get one. So I know, Ryan, you've got a lot to say. The floor is yours on this one.
Yeah, no, I know nothing about this topic. What are you talking about? I'd like to shout out ChatGPT for making me sound smart in the initial post. Hopefully it came across that way anyway. But no, I want to say I had a fantastic conversation with the regional director for FRC Northland. And we talked well, it's funny because I got an email from her saying it was titled Chief Delphi Post. And it basically read like, hey, I've been notified that you posted on Chief Delphi, and a bunch of people are either, upset or, got comments about it. Right. And so she was like, well, is there a time that you can call me? And I said, yep, here's my phone number. Anytime. I'd love to talk to you. Probably 10 minutes after that, we had a half-hour conversation, and Nicole did an amazing job. She was totally transparent. I want to give her all the credit in the world. She shared a lot about kind of how things work on their end. So the RDs each have their own process, if you will, for how to handle the wait list, the reserve spots at an event. For her process essentially is round 1, round 2, that's RNG, totally dependent on a number that you're given within the first system. And if you've got a good number round 1, it's inverted, and you've got a bad number for round 2. After all that clears, the RDs have total control. And the RDs, at least Nicole, her process was to admit teams that supply a lot of key volunteers, and to admit teams who are, running the event, or they're the host team for the event. So at the end of that, you've got, there's typically in Minnesota 10 spots at an event that are withheld. After you admit teams that are, providing volunteers, teams that are hosting the event, Nicole, and then her next criteria was teams that are only going to one event. Teams that, through round 1, through round 2, haven't gotten into an event yet, they get priority to get into their local event, which is, totally logical. From there, Nicole said, I've got one spot at the Great Northern Regional, and I've got 14 teams going for it. I've got one spot at the Lake Superior Regional, and I've got 13 teams going for that one. And that was true for all of the Minnesota events, more or less. So the way she handled it is she put 13 teams into a random number generator. And if your team popped up, you won the lottery and you got into that event. So 13 teams competing for one spot. And that was true across all of our events. If you're looking or keeping track of FRC registration, you'll notice that I want to say it's 5 Minnesota teams signed up for an event, a regional in Alabama. That goes to show it's not just Minnesota. It's literally the whole country. I got 2 or 3 emails from Nicole saying, "Oh, California might have some open spots." And frankly, it was after I got that email that I was like, "All right, this is kind of crap," and I want there to be more of a public discussion about it. The points I raised, I think the community addressed some of them. I said, "Hey, do I think or does the community think that host teams and teams that provide key volunteers should have that preferred spot at an event?" Now, there's an argument that they should, if they're going to be providing volunteers, they should have to do it in round 1, and like that's their event, they have to do it. A lot of teams don't do that. If they know they've got the ability to get in round 2 or even after that because they're supplying a lot of volunteers, those teams are going to events that wouldn't be their number 1 choice, frankly, and they're using that as leverage. And, there's an argument to be made that they deserve that because they're supporting the community and the events wouldn't run without them. And I think that's where the community landed on that topic. And I don't disagree. I was just throwing that out there for the community to kind of dissect. The other thing I brought up was, and sorry if I'm hogging the floor here, jump in whenever, but
no, keep going.
Sure. The other thing I brought up was the fact that, hey, we have an obvious need for more events in our region. If we've got teams going to Alabama, that's kind of outrageous, right? And there's a lot of dynamics here. I'll try to keep it brief, but Minnesota imports about 31 teams. So some come from Wisconsin, some from Illinois. We've got a team from India, a team from China this year, which is super cool. But we import about 31 teams, and we export, at the time of that post, was about 21 teams. So historically, we've been a net importer of teams, and we've been supporting, hey, Tyler, if you're listening, been supporting Wisconsin because they have an event deficit as well. So with that being said, we've got an obvious need for more events. I talked to Nicole, and I'm like, hey, Nicole, our regional director, I was like, hey, why don't we have more events? We've got a location in Bemidji. We've got a Great Northern Regional, could be a double regional. And I've talked to the people who are kind of organizing this. The money is there, right? The organization, the volunteers are largely there. There's a wait list to be a key volunteer. I've been told this. I don't want to be totally held accountable to this, but I've been told that there's a wait list for certain key volunteering spots in Minnesota. So if you build it, they will come. We've got the money. And Nicole told me she's been advocating for this to happen. She's been advocating for us to get more events. And FIRST has kind of told her no, they need to have a demand demonstrated to them. So here's me screaming to the heavens, Colin, if you're listening, we need more events. And my intention is to go to every Minnesota event, get a petition going saying, hey, we need more events. Here's the demand. Let us have it. We'll make it work.
No, for sure. And
Mic drop.
what's going on? Yeah. What's going on in New England this year? I know one of the goals was to try and get an FRC event in every state within New England, all 6 states. And for the first time, that's actually happening. We have an FRC event in the state of Vermont for the first time in ever. So, which is really cool. However, it's the same amount of events from last year, which means an event somewhere got killed off. And unfortunately, so 2 of the events that got killed off was North Shore and Southeast Mass, which cater to geographically the 2 largest areas of New England FIRST. So we're like, when we saw that list on 166, when we saw that come out, we're like, oh, there's going to be a lot of displacement and a lot of not so happy people, which for the Vermont teams and for the main teams who got a second event for this year, hats off to them, because now they have events that are a lot more closer to home. So those teams that typically have to drive 3-4 hours plus and have to get hotels for every single event, they now have the opportunity to potentially just do a day trip, which I love. However, and this is no disrespect to those teams, the equality or equity, words are hard. It kind of goes in a backwards direction almost, because now there's a lot of teams that were going to those 2 events that were there since basically the inception of the New England district. And now they're like, oh crap, I have to go and find another event. Does this mean that I have to travel further? Do I need to get hotels now? Did I plan, like, do we have enough money in our team's expenses for the year to be able to do this? Oh no, chat, are we cooked? I don't, what is there a similar situation going on in Michigan, Nick?
I mean, to be honest with you, so Michigan obviously does it differently than most, right? You get signed your home event, and I know that's not super particular to across the world, but basically in Michigan it works. You get assigned a home event because there's so many events. I think we're up to, I think weeks 1 through 5 we're at 6 events, and week 2 is the only one that we have 4. I think it was the last time I checked. But so every team gets assigned a home event, and if you sign up for that home event in the first round, you get that no matter what. Like 100%, you're going to get your home event. And then round 2, you submit with what you have, and like Ryan said, if you get the magic number, you're in, and if not, you get put on a wait list, and basically they're going to hold out to make sure that the rookies get their events, and then after that, it's what number are you on the wait list, and that's how you're going to get assigned. So usually they're pretty good about it. We've got some new events this year, some continuous ones. I know Troy's back down to 1 event after being 2 the past couple of years, so we'll see how that shakes up. I'm curious to see where it moves forward, but the one thing that I do want to highlight, to Ryan's point, and Tyler had put it in chat, I don't know that Wisconsin districts are going to solve the problem, because to Ryan's point, like, yeah, there's Wisconsin teams that come to Minnesota Regional, so one would think, well, if Wisconsin has their districts, those spots are removed. Well, not really, because we're taking away 3 regionals in Wisconsin because now they're going to move to districts. So in reality, geographically, it's just we're moving more options for Minnesota teams to go right next door and have to go down to Alabama. So, like, to Ryan's point, like, there has to be some sort of happy medium, and I don't think that Wisconsin moving to districts is really going to solve the problem. And if anything, in my opinion, it actually might make it worse. So
I've run the numbers on that. It's about neutral and
okay.
slightly helpful, very, very slightly helpful. Geographically, for those who don't know, the Seven Rivers Regional is right across the border. It might as well be a Minnesota event. And actually, the foundations of it were from Team 2977, who is a Minnesota team, helped to start that event. So it's in La Crosse, Wisconsin, right on the border of Wisconsin, Minnesota, heavily populated by Minnesota teams typically. And losing that effectively negates the net benefit of Wisconsin going to district. So it's roughly neutral for all intents and purposes.
Well, good to know. All right. Well, before we go ahead and jump into our final topic of the night, let's go ahead and bring Tyler on to start our giveaway.
Sorry, type in Kevin in chat. That's your opportunity to win. We'll draw for that in just a little bit. And don't forget, our YouTube subscribers get 3 times luck to win. Good luck, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, Tyler, and thanks again to our friends at AndyMark. All right, jumping into our final topic of the night, issues with the Impact Award. Ryan, I'm going to let you take the lead on here. I know you might have got winded from the previous topic, but I know that you're super passionate about this one as well. So I'll go ahead and throw it to you, and then we'll go ahead and bounce off you.
Hey, I'm good at nothing if not spewing my opinions on the internet. That's what I'm here for. No, the Impact Awards. So originally, I think we were going to talk about bumpers, and then the Impact thread blew up today. And I think it's a really relevant topic, and a topic that I feel pretty strongly about. My background is on a team, 4607, who, had a lot of success with the former Chairman's Award, now Impact Award, and is still doing a fantastic job in that respect. And I'm on a team now who, has aspirations of winning that award in the future, right? That thread is from a Hall of Fame team, a recent Hall of Fame team, 321, a member from their team, I should say. And they bring up a lot of good points, and there's a ton of good discussion. I think Mike Schreiber had my favorite post in there. He posted the the Office GIF where they're describing what a pyramid scheme is. So the Impact Award is viewed by many as a pyramid scheme. It's the teams who start the most first teams. And while you've got teams that, are doing crazy cool stuff, yeah, there you go. I love it. Yeah. So what is a pyramid scheme? There you go. Essentially, while you've got teams who are doing crazy cool stuff outside the constructs of first, the teams who do things like start FLL teams, FTC teams, etc., seem to be the teams that benefit from the Impact Award. To me, the biggest topic I would like to address within that would be the fact that you've got teams doing crazy cool things, right, year after year, and they'll get feedback from the judges saying, "Oh, you did that last year. You did the same thing last year. You only impacted millions of people the same way you did last year," right?
Yeah, and I'll pause you right there, real quick. Right to that point, how has 118 not won the championship Impact Award yet? And I will die on this grave. What is it going to take? They literally design an every bot to completely assist all of the low resource teams or teams that might want to use it as a stepping stone to be able to enter the program, and have now done it for FTC. They did one for FTC this year, which in my opinion might be even a bigger impact than the FRC one because of the ages that impact FTC. Like, I don't know what more it's going to take, but 118 needs to get into the Hall of Fame. Ryan, continue.
Nick, I couldn't agree more. And I'll give you another example. 1678 Citrus Circuits. Yep. I heard from one of their mentors today making an argument that, hey, their programs have grown exponentially. They've grown so much. And they're at the point now where they're maintaining. They can't reasonably do more because they're at capacity, because they're doing so much. And they're being punished for that. They're being the feedback they're getting from judges effectively is, you're not doing more than you did last year, when they're doing so much more than everybody else, right? So there's a balance here, right? I understand wanting new teams to win the Impact Award, right? You don't want to make it so impossible to win that, Citrus wins every year, 118 wins every year, what have you. But on the other hand, we do need to reward these teams who are doing incredible things with incredible consistency, even if they're not growing.
I agree with you both, and I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit here. So 166, we are an impact heavy team. We have won it at the district qualifying level the past 3 years, one of them being at district champs. What we have noticed is throughout all that and throughout our judging stuff, and while you guys say like, yes, they're like 118 and 1678, they're doing a crap ton of work. Yes, I absolutely agree. However, I mean, granted, I'm not on 118 or 1678, but it's also all about how you portray that and how you like throughout your essay and through your impact presentation to the judges. So like, yes, we see a lot of awesome, great things that they do on social media, posting the Everybot, hosting all these camps, starting up all these teams. And while you also have to be able to put that down on paper and be able to present that. And I'm also not saying that they don't do that well. I'm sure they do very, very well. I would love to be able to be an impact finalist. Mm-hmm. Hell, I'd love to win it at the championship. That sounds like a lot of fun. So I know with 166 from 23 to 24, like we won impact at our district championship in 2023. We did a lot of stuff. In 2024, we also did a lot of stuff. But one thing that we've seen, that we've tended to notice from impact judges, especially if it's consistent from event to event and year to year, is that they're going to know what kind of stuff you're doing based off of when they judged you previously and stuff. Granted, that shouldn't necessarily be taken into account, but they're going to know like how you're progressing throughout the entire thing. Oh boy, this video. So so at the end of the 2024 season, we knew we need, like, if we want to, like, granted, winning the award is never the end goal. It should always be about how do you leave this world in a better place. But we knew that if we wanted to, have Impact be our shot at getting back to the world championship, is that we need to do a crap ton more stuff. And how do we do it? And then how do we portray it? And just getting a bunch of people involved, like trying to get your local politicians involved. And what can you do? We're doing a lot of things that are kind of on brand with the season and with our team this year. So like Chop Shop, we're car racing themed, checkered flags and stuff. We started this past summer, we started hosting an annual Cars and Coffee car show. A few weeks ago, we partnered with the Blue Ocean Society to do an ocean cleanup. To be very on brand with this year. It's all about this has kind of been used in NFL, and I don't want to use this as like a one-to-one comparison, but like the ongoing thing from like players and coaches is, what have you done for me recently? And it's all about, what are you doing next? What's next? Yes, continue with what you're doing from year to year. That's fantastic. Keep doing that. But can you add more? And how do you portray it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, I get where you're coming from. But to Ryan's point, and I don't want you to think I'm arguing with you, Henry, because I'm not. But to be devil's advocate to your point, when you have as many kids on your team as Citrus and 118 does, and they're already doing so much, and you're at capacity and can't do more, like there's got to be be a happy medium of recognizing the ongoing efforts and then just having to completely pivot to win an award. You know what I mean? So I think we're saying the same thing. I agree with what you said too, but
also keep in mind, it's not just you competing against yourself. There's also a bunch of other teams in your area that are also competing for this award. So it's like, yeah, you can be doing a lot, but maybe it's like, yeah, you're going into the gym at 6:30 because you want to be the best, but maybe someone's going into the gym at 6.
No, that's fair. Ryan, any final thoughts? I know we kind of cut you off in the middle of your spiel.
No, so if you don't cut me off, I'll keep going. So that was great. What I tell my kids on the team, and if I were to type a reply to that thread, it would effectively be, we do cool stuff because it impacts our community, because it builds our program and makes us more sustainable and a better program. We do cool stuff because we like doing cool stuff. We're going to submit for it if we've got kids who are interested in going through that process. And if we pick up an award on the way, more power to us. That's gravy on top, basically. We're doing it because we enjoy it. We're never going to be one of those teams who, they do a thing to win the award. And I think part of the challenge is that it's such an all or nothing benefit, especially in the regional system, right? It's one of 4 automatic spots going to the world championship. It's an all or nothing incentive, and it'd be really cool. I think the district system handles it better, to provide benefit to teams who are doing cool stuff through other awards, and you get points for qualifying in the district system. Now in the new regional qualification system, you get some of that. But the fact that it's such all or nothing really makes it a challenge, I think, for teams to, well, really it's incentive to embellish. It's incentive to do things that, maybe aren't gracious professional. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I got you. I get it. All right, well, before we go ahead and wrap up the show, let's go ahead and bring Tyler back on to draw for that giveaway. All right, awesome. Thanks, Tyler, and thanks to our friends at AnyMark. Thanks everybody for tuning in to FRC Roundup. Special thanks to all those who clicked that subscribe button or stepped up to help fund by becoming a fund member or supporter by clicking that join button. Your support really helps us continue to make great content. Don't forget, you can watch FRC Roundup archived at Fun Robotics Network on YouTube and watch live Mondays during the competition season. Thank you to Ryan, our guest, for coming on tonight. And on behalf of our producer, Tyler Olds, my co-host, Connor, and all Fun correspondents, I'm Nick Jr., and thanks for watching. Big thanks to our moderators in chat as well. See you next time, where we take a look at what is going on with FRC Robotics on FRC Roundup. Thanks, everyone.
Streams on the Fun Robotics Network are supported by viewers like you and also in partnership with the following. Discover how Kettering University students engineered their success with Kettering's amazing co-op employment programs where students earn great pay and gain valuable experience. Those accepted into Kettering University can apply for a robotics scholarship, providing up to an additional $5,000 a year in tuition assistance. Head on over to kettering.edu/first to learn more and apply. AnyMark is your one-stop shop for all your robotics competition needs. Celebrating 20 years of quality robotics parts and superior service, AnyMark employees have over 200 years of first-team experience. From mechanical and electrical products to tools and hardware, head on over to anymark.com for high-quality and affordable solutions.